Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Night Racing from High Slide Racing League and GridVision. I am Joe LaCastro, joined in the booth tonight by Sheldon Atkins. How are you, Sheldon?
Doing pretty good, man. Excited to watch yet another week of wonderful racing here from the Richmond Speedway. Home sweet home for me.
Again, yeah, a little bit of close to the backyard racing. I remember the last time we were here. It wasn't too long ago, actually, was it?
No, what was it like last weekend? And
the
whole week before like that. So we did. We can't get away from Richmond. A little bit. We can't get away from Richmond. Well, here we are. We got 200 laps around this bad boy. It's what everybody expects. You're gonna watch yourself, maybe, a few wrecks here and there. Maybe. Do you expect that in 200 laps with about 15, 16 drivers tonight in the Championships League of High Slide Racing? We're going to be able to see what Richmond can do for these guys. And let's take a look at those standings, actually, if we can get the championship standings up on screen. Talk a little bit about those real quick. Here we go. Obviously, we got above the bubble line in the top 6. Causey, Chapman, Shearer Jr., Probst, McCarty, and Dick. But tonight, we've got a couple of guys who are looking to fight their way above that line. Is that right? Yeah, a handful of guys just trying to get themselves up a little bit tighter into that points bracket, but at the same time, I'm not expecting a whole lot of contention for that top 6. Not to be rude to anybody or anything, but those top 6 guys that are in there, they have had it all year. I'm not expecting much of a shakeup, especially at Richmond, a track this difficult.
Yeah, things are kind of feeling a little bit locked into place. So let's talk about who we think is going to lock it in tonight. Tonight, I think that Andrew Chapman is going to lock it in. That's my pick for the evening. I would like to see things go in his direction. And how about yourself?
Well, I'm about to go with Jordan Probst. Quite a pair of second place finishes he's had this year. Feels like he's finished second to just about everybody at this point. I think tonight's night he's going to be able to seal the deal and punch the ticket, so to speak.
And up in the booth, Derbyshire. He's picking number 88, Joseph Causey, sitting up there at the top of the charts already. A safe pick, some might say. Like you said, that top 6 is pretty locked in, and we've seen Causey being pretty dominating when he is in the races. So I have a feeling that wherever he ends up tonight, it is going to be toward the top. I believe that we're going to go 200 laps. Only the first stage is going to end in a yellow, so it's going to be a lot of racing tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a handful for these guys for sure. This track is very dangerous.
Well, let's go ahead and get things started here. The grid is getting ready to go. Starting off things in first place. Your pole position is Joseph Causey. Second, it's Charlie Harcum. Third, Jordan Probst. Fourth, Andrew Pendergrass. Fifth, it's James Kerr. Sixth, it's Austin Pendergrass. Seventh, it's Andrew Lemke. Eighth, it's Levi McCarty. And at ninth, Derek Grigsby. 10th, Andrew Chapman.
In 11th place, we're going to have Jacob Denson with Joshua Lucas rounding up on his outside in 12th. 13th is going to be Scott Felch, with 14th being Jordan Berry. And then rounding out the field tonight without a time, Jason Miz.
All righty, folks. Get buckled up, get ready. It looks like the pace car, the pace truck in this case, is going to get ready to go pretty soon. And we are going to have some nighttime racing in Richmond. Now let's go ahead and take a moment. We're going to switch over to our other overlay here, folks. So stay tuned as we get that ready for you. All right, folks, we got the overlay back up here, and the cars are going around. I think we got 2 to green on a track this small.
Yep, it's going to be a 2 till they drop the flag. And the biggest thing we're going to have to worry about here is, man, when they come down to turn 1, some guys' braking points are a lot different than others. Some guys scoot a little bit more rear brake bias into these things. It's very easy to get for your eyes to get a little bit, bigger than the traction you got going into turn 1, and very easy for people to come in here and snap it around and slap the wall down. Yeah, slapping the wall out of 1 into 2 has been my main sin when I've gotten into the simulator a couple of times and I've tried to push myself a little bit on this track. It's really that exit from 2 where if you get on the gas at just the right spot, your car is going to go rocketing to the outside. And if you don't have the control of the vehicle at that point, that wall is going to welcome you. The pace car is off, the green flag is waving, and we are go here at Richmond Raceway on GridVision with high slide racing already.
In the back.
Yellow flag is out already as Andrew Lemke has gone off the track. He's at least 1 car off the track. It looks like the 55 also. That was Andrew Lemke in the 55, excuse me.
21, Levi McCarty got caught up in that too.
Levi McCarty, Andrew Lemke.
See what happens here. I'm thinking
maybe it was just a hot start. Yeah.
Oh no, Chapman gets into the back of McCarty and it takes Pendergrass around as well.
Just some angry starting to the race. Really an attempt to win it in the first turn has cost a little bit of time to these guys. Now we're early on, 200 laps. So, you know, get it out now. It was probably the lightest of the wrecks I'm hoping we're going to see tonight. I'm hoping it's the nastiest. We're 1% done with the race, and we're already wrecking.
Yeah, that's a case of one guy thought that it was time to go, and the other didn't. We'd have to take a deep dive to really figure out who was in the wrong on that. But that's you run into that, especially here on these short tracks, especially early.
Now I'm listening to race control. They're saying that 24 spun his tires on the start. That was Austin Pendergrass. And that might have been what caused that particular dust up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very easy to do on the outside. It is really slick up there at the top on the front straightaway here at Richmond. Get a lot of marble build up.
Really
a little
is.
bit too much throttle and around you go.
Now the conditions here are a little early for the marbles, so it was definitely something to do with the throttle. You were right. Maybe cold tires mixed with that heavy foot.
Let's mention of that. Plus, track states carry over from practice and qualifying too.
You got me there.
These guys probably put about 30-40 laps each in practice. It may not look super rubbered up, but I can promise you there's definitely a seam there.
All right, yeah. I myself had a pretty bad start earlier this week in the old Carburetor Cup, the Week 13 Carburetor Cup. I started a race in third gear that I should have started in second, and it cost me dearly. Just straight up forgot what gear I was in.
It happens.
So I think we've all been there.
Trying to remember. I think it was a truck race the other night that I was running, and I started in fourth because I was trying to save fuel. And
wow.
The guys behind me were not thrilled with that. We didn't die, but I was sitting there, talking to somebody over the driver channel and completely lost all concept of reality of where I was, and just boom.
Yep, and then you found and then it sounds like Darby suggested you might have found $5 immediately after that.
Possibly, I'm not following. Yeah.
It was just it was a cool story, bro.
Oh, all right. There we go. Man, I'm just getting roasted. Not even 5 laps into this thing, and I'm already wanting to cry in the corner. Let's go.
I was trying to think of something funny to say. I just had to repeat what our amazing technical director had to throw in there. So let's hope that both of us have better race starts here in the near future. I've had better since, but, not much. All right, the lights are out on the pace car. As we come around, I'm going to talk a little bit more later on about the playoff sponsor for tonight's race. That's Haproon Design. So don't let me forget to mention them again. But if you're feeling like Googling during the race, go look up Haproon Design.
And you're asking the wrong person to keep you from forgetting things.
Oh. That's fair. That's fair. I'll make myself a little post-it note here. I'll just put it on my monitor, remind myself. All right, the pace car is off. You know what that means. It's about to get hot on the racetrack tonight. Green flag is out, and there goes Joseph Causey zooming away from the pack as we start things off for a second time here tonight on Richmond, at Richmond on GridVision.
Causey with a great launch, gets him clear down in 1 and 2. Jordan Probst is going to move up second place here, clear Pendergrass for third. And everybody else just singling out behind him right now. A little bit of a battle there, though, a little bit further back. Looks like Barry on the outside of Lucas.
Just a touch, it looks like. I can see that. Things are lining up. We've got a relatively light-ish field tonight, so I have a feeling this single pack feeling is going to stick around for a little while. But we're going to see a lot of green flag racing, so expect some lap car situations, expect things to really stretch out as things go on, you know, pending not a lot of yellow flags, but I think that after this first little hiccup, we're not going to see too many tonight. That's my fingers crossed moment, brought to you by GridVision.
Not a whole lot. Right now you see Chapman making moves to the front, kind of a sluggish qualifying lap, already moving himself up to the 4th position now from, I believe he started 8th. Don't hit me if I'm wrong.
Nope, no slaps here. And then on the outside here, we've also got, it looks like Pendergrass is putting it too wide a little bit. Andrew Pendergrass, now he's in front of it. Now the front of the 18 of Jordan Berry. Berry on the inside of the 75 of James Kerr. Kerr taking it just a little bit by the nose through this turn. Berry losing a little bit of speed there, and now he's just trying to find a home.
In the wall.
Ooh.
Kerr got stuck up on the fence coming out of turn 4. Had a really good run. Could have picked up a spot or 2 on that. Now he's going backwards trying to find that momentum again.
I would have paid money to suggest that he was about to pick up those spots based on what we were seeing there. He had a really good run, but now he's got it too wide again with Jacob Denson now, who's on his inside. Denson himself moving up, trying to put it too wide with Jordan Berry. He takes it by a nose, little contact with Berry.
And right now for Denson, every spot counts. Right up there at the playoff bubble, desperately trying to race himself into the final round of this championship. Moving himself up to 7th place, had a great run last week. See if he can capitalize on it with a good one this week. As he gets loose out of 4, though, he's not going to do that too much here.
No, not too much. He's diving in now. He could get a little bit of a push from Jordan Berry behind him, but Jacob Denson in that lovely Little Miami Brewing Company livery there has been really probably one of the strongest drivers in these early couple of laps here. We're looking, of course, up ahead at Joseph Causey, who is far and away the fastest driver on the field right now. But keeping our eyes on Denson. Denson is going to be chewing his way up through these ranks. He's already 5 up. Chapman, my man, is up 7 places from that first start. So we have a couple drivers already who are trying to make a name for themselves early in this race.
Yeah, and I'd be expecting a lot out of Chapman this week, too. Talked to him earlier in the week. Ran a couple races together and fixed. And he let me in on the news that he has completely upgraded his whole sim rig, switching up to Moza now. So expecting a little bit more pace out of him. The better equipment, you know, it doesn't make or break the driver, but man, it sure can help.
Absolutely. Harkham now looking for the inside on Andrew Chapman in that new rig. So the whole rig now, he's got the wheel, the pedals, the shifter. It's all Moza top to bottom. It's a fun ecosystem to jump into.
Yeah, top quality. I mean, Jimmy Broadbent seems to really love that stuff. I remember he got an endorsement not too long ago with them, and you know, he's been swearing by it himself. And man, whatever Jimmy says is right. I kind of believe him.
If you can't trust Jimmy Broadbent, I don't feel you can trust anybody in this hobby, honestly. And so the word out of Jimmy Broadbent is Moza. I myself had a Moza handbrake up until not too recently when I realized I didn't need a handbrake for anything I was doing. But speaking of not needing a handbrake, let's take a look at the race here and see if anyone else is putting in some battles. Josh Lucas is too wide right now with, looks like Jordan Berry. Berry in the 18, holding down on the inside line there a little bit. Just a touch of battle going on. Really, there's a lot of side-by-side racing, but this sort of give and take that's happening here around the 7th, 8th place position, that's been happening since the race started. And I've been extremely intrigued by this more so than the front of the race so far. I don't know what you've been feeling, Sheldon, but this is where I think the heat's been right now.
And what you're seeing right now, this is Richmond of old. You know, you don't really see this as much nowadays, where the outside line really comes in as dominant. But the thing is, like, you go to the top, make moves, get by people, you know, kind of snooker them on the bottom because you need the whole track.
as we were saying that, Lemke in the 55, he lost control. Another car near him lost control as well. They slid together. Lemke hits the wall. He falls back now. He's in the back of the pack. Let's get a GridVision replay of what went down there.
Yeah,
a little synchronized swimming.
A little bit of contact with the machine up in front of him, gets down there into turn 3, then slides up into the door of Derek Grigsby, and around they both go. Grigsby got through pretty scot-free. Lemke got the worst of it, though.
He really did. Just slammed the nose of that truck right up in. Let's see what happens here. Here comes the turn.
Sends it down the inside of Phelps. Everything looks good here through 1 and 2. A little bit of contact coming out.
Looks like the 55 is getting pinged here.
Yeah, that incident in 3, you see him trying to get the thing back under him after that contact with 11 down the back straightaway. Got in there, and the tires were hot, and she slid up the track. And Grigsby was just an innocent bystander on that deal.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate when you're going to get swept up in the middle of it, but it sounds like they're working things out right now as everybody heads down pit lane to get a set of fresh ones. Why not? We got 5 sets of tires tonight across 200 laps, and we are across lap 20-ish right now, I think, or lap 22. There we go. Lap 22 right now. So we got time for tires. Taking the first set might not be a bad idea. Just getting things ready for a nice long haul. It'll set you up strategically to get some tires here. And it looks like there's only 4 drivers who chose not to go to the pits up at the front there. Causey, Harcum, Denson, and Scott Phelps. None of them decided to pit. Everybody else, they pit on 21.
Yeah, right
and
now.
then there's Andrew Lemke, who had to pit because of reasons.
I'm excited to see how big of a difference that tire disparity is going to make with these guys up here at the front, because you got a lot of fast trucks up here in this top 6 at the moment, and everybody behind them pit.
You really do. You've got Causey, who's been leading the race so far. He's now on older tires, so you could see the disadvantage, the disparity there slowly creep up on him, but he could also just have the lead because he's Joseph Causey. And so I think that figuring out who can save tires while still pushing their overall top speed is going to be what we, the viewers, might learn tonight. And so watching eyes on Causey a little bit here and see maybe how his technique allows him to hold on to this lead, or at least for how long he can hold on to this lead.
Well, Causey's the best thing for Causey right now, too, is he's got a bunch of buffer trucks in between him and those guys on fresh tires.
Yeah, they have a few boss fights to get through first.
It's going to take some of these guys a handful of laps to get to them, and by the time they get to them, odds are they probably worn their stuff out just a smidgen.
Yeah. Creating battles behind you is about as good as you can get when you're in the lead. Creating a situation where the guys are going to be focusing more on each other or trying to, angle for position, jockey for placement, that's going to burn tire. That's going to make them hit their brakes. They're going to be swerving a little bit more. And every time they do it, that makes your life a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Causey voting to restart this thing up at the top again here from the lead. Got a really good launch of that last time. I'm pretty sure it's going to work out the same way for him here.
Yeah, it really was a good launch for him. It was beautiful. The lights are out now. We're going to get to maybe see a repeat of that. Causey in the 88 gets set and ready. On his inside, the 82 of Charlie Harcum is ready as well. In a moment, we're going to see the pit truck pull off, and we're going to get this thing going again here at Richmond tonight on GridVision. There goes the pit car. Here comes the green flag, and they're away. Causey doing his thing, pulling straight out to the front. Harcum right behind him. Jacob Denson behind him. Denson looks for the inside, keeps it, manages to hold on to it while Scott Phelps is there
Chapman.
too.
Chapman just absolutely sent it into the corner until he saw daylight. I think he just picked up about 4 spots there. Here's going to do it again in turn 3. Going to get by Probst on the inside. Now going to get by Phelps in the 11. Phelps going to fight back up top, though, but no dice for him. Chapman's gone, man. Move Chapman up to 4th.
really amazing driving. He's 6 places up now. Jacob Denson is up 8 places. He's ahead of Chapman even. He was able to make the most of these restarts, and I think some of the really enterprising drivers are making the most of it. Scott Phelps also able to make the most of this restart, even though he fell back a little bit with Josh Lucas. These guys are pushing hard every time that we've had to restart the race. Unfortunately, 2 times already in the first 20 laps. It's been a bit of a chance for some of the drivers to make up that extra 1, that extra 2.
Austin Pendergrass gets squirrely coming out of turn 2, gets to throttle his low suit too soon. Round she goes, noses into the inside wall, and he's parked the thing back in the garage for the rest of the night, it looks like.
Yep, unfortunate. I think he's out, and that was a strong enough hit that if you know it's you're going to be out of the race, you're out of the race. But things are straightening out now. We got a bit of a string of pearl situation going. A bunch of clean drivers, not necessarily pushing for positions too much, maybe falling into a pattern. Let's see exactly what we can see.
I can tell you one that's going to be charged, and Chapman up there in 3rd place now on that 4 fresh tires. He's going to dive down to the inside of Harkham, coming into turn 3, get right to the quarter panel, and just mat that gas, get it off the corner, and now you got Chapman up in 2nd place. Causey's next target. I don't think Causey can do anything against that fresh tire advantage that Chapman has in the 25 machine.
Up here at the front now, Causey probably about 4 car lengths ahead of Andrew Chapman now. Chapman down on the inside. He is 8 places up, 2nd place in the race overall, trying to close the gap. The gap right now, a half a second, and holding. It looks like it's going to be an uphill battle here for Chapman to try to close that gap between himself and Joseph Causey, but anything can really happen over the course of the next 200 laps. The question will be, how can Causey handle it?
Levi McCarty with a dive bomb and a slide job on the 32 of Lucas. Gonna move McCarty up to 5th place now. Lucas back down to 6th. Got the 44 machine side by side behind them with Denson.
Very, very close now, giving him the squeeze. Oh, just inches away from the fender. It looks like Lucas is able to tuck it in behind McCarty. That was very close. As I thought maybe for a second Lucas would have it by a nose, but then he lost the momentum coming out of there and just had to find a spot in line behind Levi McCarty. Jordan Probst moving up now on the inside of Charlie Harkham. He takes that spot. Whew, bit of a rough juke there, but he got it.
And you can tell Harkham right now is fighting like somebody who's trying to make his way into the playoffs. About 2-3 laps, that battle between him and Probst is going on. Probst on a little bit fresher stuff. Harkham not giving up so quick. So he's got McCarty down to the inside now, coming out of turn 2.
McCarty fighting for his life.
Yeah,
there
McCarty
we go.
Fighting to stay in. Harkham fighting to get in.
Big leap from McCarty as Josh Lucas is going to replace him on the inside down from Charlie Harkham. Charlie Harkham still on the outside. Lucas down on the inside. He's got it just by a nose. This time he does not want to have to slot in back behind McCarty. He wants to hold on. Or excuse me, behind Harkham.
Chapman to the bottom of Causey down here into turn 3. See what those fresh tires do. Causey going to pinch him coming off the corner. Going to break that momentum just a little bit. They're going to be dead even at the line coming down into turn number 1.
If the race ended right here, I would die happy, but instead we've still got another 100 and change laps to go. But this has been a fun and fast start to the race here. This tire strategy has clearly paid off for Andrew Chapman, who's got it by a nose now. He's going to try to get up in front of Causey, and if Causey was smart here, he's going to have a strategy for how to hold on to these tires. He's got the speed. Chapman's got the lead here. Let's see what Causey pulls off.
Chapman with that Virginia Tech Hokie machine out here in the lead at Richmond Raceway. Looking pretty good on them tires. Causey's going to get right back up to the bumper, but not going to be able to do anything with it. You just can't overcome that grip advantage. Not at this stage. Those 20 laps on the tires that Causey had before they came in and threw on 4 behind him.
He's not quite looking for the inside. He's still holding back a little bit. I think that the attack is going to have to come at a very strategic moment from Joseph Causey, and it's going to probably have to come after he gets fresh tires, as you've mentioned. But the question is going to be when. Is he going to hold out until Chapman decides to go back in to replace his set? It seems like the only strategic option at this point.
Well, the thing that I really like about what Chapman did, and he did it I want to say it was last week, week before last. He's set himself up now where he can go longer than everybody else. He can stay out on the track longer, you know, the plateau point and plateau rate and everything. He's got fresher stuff. He can stay out longer. He's got more fuel in the tank. I like this for Chapman because Chapman is always really, really strong on a short to mid run. That's his strong suit. Kind of struggles a little bit on the back end of a run, which you get 30, 40 laps on it. I think this is really going to play off for him strategy-wise. As you see, Probst looking at the inside of Causey now. Another one of those guys on 4 fresh tires.
Yep, and Causey is now in the battle for his life, and that battle is a battle for third. He falls down just a little bit. He's going to try to get in line here. The 91 not squeezing him too much up to the top, but Causey needs to find a good groove to get into. He's just not able to keep up with the guys who are on faster tires right now, who are a little bit hungrier for the speed. I take that back. He's got a great draft right now, a really good-looking one with Jordan Probst, but it's still going to be an uphill battle, as you mentioned, for Joseph Causey, who's sitting on the earlier tires. The next closest to him on earlier tires is Charlie Harcum, who's a little bit of ways back at this point. So if you want to stay up here with the big dogs on the younger tires, you're going to need to really put out some output, and Joseph Causey may not have it, as here comes the 21 of Levi McCarty.
And right now, also look at it, 44 laps into this thing. Until McCarty clears here, all 3 of our picks running 1, 2, 3 in order of how we caught them. As you got McCarty diving it down to the bottom, though. Also on those 4 freshies, running Causey up the track just a little bit, tight there into 3, coming out of turn 4. Give the lap to McCarty as they dive it back down here into turn 1.
It's a battle. It's a quarter panel battle as we come back down here from 1 into 2. Looks like.
Oh, whoa,
spun! The 21 goes around. Falls back. That's Levi McCarty. Causey, just a little tap and go, but Causey's still on the road. He falls down to 4th place a little bit. The 32 of Joshua Lucas moves up. The caution has been called, and we have a yellow flag out.
McCarty was running them really tight there, man, and there was a truck on the outside. I mean, I could be, we'll watch it back here, but see, McCarty runs out the track here into the 2nd lane, 1 and 2, and just comes out, and there's nowhere that Joseph can go from there.
Yeah. It literally looks like McCarty tried to change lanes on him, and if Joseph was holding his line, which he was, it's he either has to run himself up into the wall or he's going to spin him, and it looks like he held the line just fine.
On board with Joseph, and I just don't even think Joseph... I don't think Joseph thought that he was going to get run that high up the track.
No. Yeah, he ate the wall on that, too. Unfortunate, as here comes the Gladiators.
Man, this worked out incredible for Chapman. Did you see him leading them down pit road?
Yeah, first thing I was thinking to myself was, who's leading this down pit road? And guess who, folks? It's our hero.
Ooh, little contact there between Causey and Probst. With Probst trying to get in his box.
Just a touch. Little back and forth.
I gotta wonder how bad the damage is for Causey there, because he hit him. Looked like the center of the nose. No repairs for Causey, though, as he cycles back out in 3rd.
All right. A battle off pit road has kept Chapman in the lead. And here he goes around to try to meet up with our friend the pace car. So McCarty now, unfortunately, back down to the bottom of the list. That spin, ultimately probably avoidable, but you know this is Richmond, and it's going to do funny things to your car.
Yeah, you gotta be.
There might have been other tracks where that might have worked.
You just gotta be patient when you make your passes. You gotta be able to hold it where you need to have it, and it's a shame though, because that little slip up there from McCarty, that's going to be a costly mistake for the rest of the night, because he tore that thing up pretty bad. I would not be surprised at all if the steering was knocked out of alignment after that hit.
Oof, that's always the worst attempts. Driving with misaligned steering.
Yeah, especially at a track where you're pretty much counter steering a quarter of the lap.
No kidding.
Yeah, it gets pretty slick here.
I think it's a mixture of surface and that low banking that it's got for such a tight track. Some of these turns are the 3 and 4 is very tight for how shallow the banking is. Or at least that's how it feels to me.
The transitions from the banking to the flat, especially on the back straightaway, it is very, very rapid. And we all know that iRacing and elevation changes are a very sketchy duo.
Whoa, yeah, absolutely. I was just racing the Monza oval in the week 13, and talk about a transition from flat to oval. that'll teach you on extreme hard mode.
Yeah, that feels like you're falling down a hill.
Well, here the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to be getting ready to kick things off again here at Richmond Raceway High Slide Racing League. This is the championship race, and one of the championship races, the playoffs. That's the word I'm looking for. Here we are at the playoffs. Here we are with one of the playoff races tonight. Andrew Chapman and Joseph Causey leading things to the line. The light is green. Chapman off like a bottle rocket, straight off the nose there.
Chapman with a really good launch, side by side behind Probst and Causey. I'm expecting Causey to get a really good launch up off the top coming out of turn 2, because we see how strong it is. Oh, and the 44, Pendergrass is around.
He's by himself, though. He's by himself. He's letting him take it.
Oh, there's Causey. He got that run. Move Causey up to P2 now.
And the caution has been called. I thought that we were going to get away with that with one car out. I thought we would be okay, but it looks like that one car would like to see us hold up for a second. As we look into lap 53 out of 200, 1/4 of the way there tonight.
Just you grab that throttle a little too quick here, and it'll come back and slap you really fast. You see him nose it into the inside wall, just a smidgen, not enough to really do any damage, but
just enough. And while we are going around and around getting things ready, let's go around to a commercial here on GridVision, and we'll be right back, folks. You stick around. We'll see you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to High Slide Thursday Night Truck Series. I'm Joe LaCastro, and I'm joined in the booth by Sheldon Atkins here on GridVision. How are you, Sheldon?
Yeah, same as it was a little bit earlier. Just excited to be here at Richmond watching some high-quality truck racing.
Yep, bringing it back in from commercial. Figured I'd remind folks who's here. We got someone in the chat saying, let's go Grigsby, as the lights are out again on the pace truck. Here at the front, we've got Chapman, Causey, Probst, Lucas, and Harcum as your top 5 places. Chapman shooting to the front after some really impressive early racing, 9 places up, easily able to challenge on fresh tires Joseph Causey, but now everyone's on the same tires. Virtually everyone in the race is on the same tires, having pit on lap 47. So I'm looking forward to seeing some even-keeled racing right now. I will put it that way. All right, pace car is off. We're looking for the green, and there it is. Green, green, green here on GridVision as Andrew Chapman shoots out in front of Joseph Causey, using his own moves against him. But here on the inside comes Jordan Probst very fast. Looks like Causey has to move down very quickly to avoid losing his second place position. He does so. And the 1-2-3 becomes Chapman, Causey, and Probst as we're going around into lap 59.
And everything's single file here for the time being up here at the front. Right now, though, Causey getting a really good run on Chapman as we got side-by-side back a little bit further back with Grigsby to the outside of the 82 machine of Harcum. Harcum still trying to race his way into this final round of the playoffs. Looking really good tonight. Making a lot of noise up here in the top 5.
Definitely a lot of noise, a little bit of contact, a little bit of wall bumping potentially from Joshua Lucas. Derek Grigsby is just getting the squeeze from Charlie Harcum. Harcum down to the inside, biting the yellow line a little bit as Grigsby looks for the middle line, trying to maintain his momentum, squeezes the wall, gets in front, and is able to hold on to it, changes positions. Now he looks on the inside of the 32, Joshua Lucas. Wow, well, gotta say, Derek Grigsby's speed has been actually pretty impressive on this restart here, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him push this machine a little bit further as he moves up yet again now, up 5 places to 4th place.
Grigsby working that bottom line on the inside of Lucas right now as he come down the back straightaway. You're going to get the spot to Grigsby, and here comes Harcum back down there to the inside of Lucas into 3.
Harcum has been squeezing the outside line, can't seem to find a place in the outside line himself. Trying to use the inside line, but we haven't really seen him get the jump that he needs to make that play.
Oh, loose out of 2.
Yeah, I saw
really
that.
Nervous.
A little bit on the seismograph there, just a little bit of the jump of the needle as we hope that he holds on to the vehicle, and he does very well.
Yeah, that's what Sterling Marlin used to refer to as the hospital hop. Right now,
hospital hop.
Yeah, Joseph Causey all over the back bumper of Andrew Chapman right now. Those that come down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Chapman's still holding on strong.
Just about to say something about that.
Oh, one around, the 11. Phelps.
That's a 1-car crash, and we had race control earlier reminding the racers that it takes 2 to tango and it takes 2 to caution. So it's going to be 2 cars contacting that'll be eligible for a caution from now on through the rest of this race. A single car spinning is not going to bring it out.
We talk about tire saving really often, man. Neither one of these two are doing it. Causey and Chapman driving each other as hard as they possibly can. You saw them both just about loop it coming off of turn 2. Chapman up there running that higher line, you know, the junior line, as Causey's down on the bottom trying to paint the yellow.
He wants to bring it back a little bit. He wants to have the speed that he needs to get out there. Causey down to the inside. He's got the nose now. Chapman falling back a little bit until the straight, and now they're side by side going into 2. Going into 1, excuse me.
Chapman's giving Causey a little bit too much room to play with right here, and I think he's going to bite him on the back of the hand real quick. You see Chapman getting really loose up there. Got tight coming out of turn 2 and had to send all the way down to the bottom to keep it from knocking down the fence. And
I was
Causey's got it.
I was watching Chapman a little bit earlier during qualifying, during practice. He practiced riding that higher line. He's worked that higher line, but I don't know if it's going to pay off against someone who knows how to ride the inside of this track specifically. I've been watching, and I think that the key to speed here at Richmond is to use that yellow line a little bit. So Chapman is going to be
Chapman on the bottom. A little bit of contact with Causey out of 4.
He's doing what he's got to do now.
Yep, Causey going to hold strong, though. Take that spot back away from him.
It's going to happen. Causey has been able to use that yellow line very, very well. And you know what? If Chapman can just stay in place and really tire save and avoid overdriving the car, he can keep up with Joe Causey, and he can really take advantage of the air that's being pushed through to save those tires until the time that he can get that battle going. Because that battle is still, we're only 70 laps into 200.
No, Chapman not one to lay back. That man keeps that thing pegged on the limiter every lap of every race, and I'm not expecting anything different. As you see him run up there 2 inches off the fence here at Richmond, of all places. He's trying anything he can to stay out of the dirty air of Joseph Causey and try to find some kind of way to build a run to get him back at the end of the straightaway so he can get back to the bottom and make a move. Just not finding it just yet. A little too early in the tire cycle for that outside line to really come in like he's hoping it will.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think he's just a little bit ahead of the gun, just a little bit ahead of the 8-ball, as they say, or they used to say about 150 years ago. In terms of where he is.
Thanks for the history lesson, Grandpa.
Hey, you're welcome, Sonny. Stick around. I'll teach you how to do the Lindy Hop.
You have any tapioca or peppermints on tap tonight?
It's only Werther's for me, you worthless nephew.
That's the way you got the dentures. Either way.
Either way. I gotta quit the bit before it goes on too far. And scene. Back to racing.
Yep,
Speaking of racing, things have stretched out a little bit. Let's see. Ooh, sounds like something. A little bit of contact maybe in the back there. Up there at the front, things have stretched out a little bit. We have a half second now between Joseph Causey and Andrew Chapman. Chapman falling back just a little bit every lap as Joseph Causey demonstrates his knowledge of the track for everybody here as well.
You're right now riding on board with Barry as he's right behind Denson. Denson and Harcum, 2 spots away from each other, both trying to get themselves into the next round. Trying to make up as many points as they possibly can here. And
this really feels like the point where the race is spreading out and we have cars all along the racetrack. So we may, we're going to start to see the battles are going to be spreading out a little bit, I think, over time. We're in that weird twilight zone where you've got like a medium, like 15 cars on the track in a medium-sized track. And that twilight zone is really going to play out based on mistakes and track knowledge.
Yeah, we're about 15 to 20 laps away from that point where everybody's eyes kind of turn off and they function on muscle memory here. Because you get into these long races at Richmond, man, and you get in a rhythm and you just completely space out. Like it is, here, New Hampshire, a couple of the other flat tracks and the short tracks. Once you get a long run and everybody separates, it just you're basically just a creature of instinct at that point.
Absolutely. It's a short enough track that you can listen to the rhythm of the engine very clearly, and you don't ever get bored of it, so to speak. You can tell when it's time to switch. Oh,
Harcum into the fence out of 2.
We both saw that. Harcum just chastising himself there a little bit with a little bit too much speed out of 1. What did we say earlier? It's 2 that's going to get you here. If you have that extra bit of speed, it's going to catch you on the wall. Now Harcum trying to get down to the yellow line and taking advantage of the speed, but he's not able to. Ooh, able to slot in behind Harcum. It looks like that was Jordan Berry in the 18. He's just able to get his nose tucked in there without it getting cut off. And the 82 makes his play.
I would hope that Berry would be able to keep his nose. Sounds painful.
Our resident Canadian. Yes, do not want it lopped off. No noses. No got your nose in this race. I'm going to go back and do the grandpa bit again because that's just lining me up for it.
Yeah, there we go.
Jordan Berry.
Side. Berry to the inside of Denson here as they come into turn 1. Denson kind of falling back a little bit on this run. Berry down to the inside. Got him right by the door as they come out of turn number 2. Denson will get the run, though.
That's what we're watching, and it looks like Berry is just getting the nose of his truck pointed at the apex of the turn just a little bit sooner than Denson. He's just getting a little bit sooner, and he's getting to the inside a little bit faster, and that's paying off most of the time. but I want to see him maintain the lead. And now he's already falling back a little bit. There we go. That's what I'm looking for again. As he pushes forward just enough, he needs to be able to bait Denson into falling into place behind him to save tire or to relax this battle they've had going on now for several laps.
Right now, it looks like he's just ahead. Yep, here we go. He's got him clear.
There it
Denson's going
is.
to roll out of it in the center of 1 and 2. Let him have it. Smart move from Denson. He could have sat there and, you know, tried to fight it back on the outside, but you're only really hurting yourself at that point is, well, Barry just evaporated into the nether in front of us.
And lost a place for it.
Oh, no. Did he throughput? I hope not.
Barry is...
Probst
now
down to the bottom of the track here in 3 and 4. He's caught up to Chapman. Chapman's still not giving up on that outside line, but it's not paying him any favor at this point. As you see Probst down here to the inside as they come into turn 1. Chapman's going to come down and try to cover that. A little bit of contact almost. Looked like it for a half a second.
Chapman's he needs to keep that inside line like we were noticing here. When he goes to the outside, sure, that works in some circumstances, but right now it doesn't seem to be paying him off.
I'm just not sure why the desire to go up there. I mean, maybe he knows something with the tires that I don't, but no, yeah, he's dead loose coming out of turn number 2 right in front of Probst. Probst's going to get back down to the bottom here into turn 3.
It's possible that Chapman's confidence in the ride has gone. He does have the new rig, as we know, so he's got to adjust a little bit. That's not all the grass being green on the other side. Whenever you get a new rig, there is an adjustment period. So he may not know how far he can push the vehicle yet. He may not have felt that in the wheel. So there could be a little bit of time even for Chapman to bloom into his new setup as time goes on.
I think he's also just thinking, man, you know, there's no way that I'm beating Kazi straight up right now because that guy's got something that I don't. He's got something figured out here that I don't have understood quite yet. Why not experiment? Try to figure out if I can find something somewhere else. I mean, you see him put up a really good fight against Probst up here on the outside line. I basically had him, you know, out to sea once Probst got there. As you see, Probst is going to kill him here out of turn 4, but good fight from Chapman.
He hasn't let Probst get away with murder here. He has not let him get away with anything. He is making him fight to keep that position, and he is just angry in the back window of Jordan Probst, refusing to let go of his position without a real defensive fight here.
Chapman showing us why he is in the playoff field and has had, you know, really good runs all year. Probst as well. These guys are, you know, these guys are a handful of those elite talents that we have in this series.
That's right. These guys are good. And we are on lap 90 of 200, 10 laps away from halfway. Take a quick look at your top 10. I'll just run through them real fast. Causey, Probst, Chapman, Lucas, and Grigsby in your top 5. After that, you've got Harcum, Denson, Pendergrass, McCarty, and Kerr. And that's almost it. We've had a few drops, unfortunately. We had Jordan Berry. It looks like he's up on the skids and is going back to the truck.
That's rough to see because Barry was a big part of that excitement factor there for quite a bit of this thing.
Absolutely. I am specifically very upset by that. I was really enjoying the extra amount of churn that he was bringing to the middle of the pack there. And he was one of those guys like Andrew Chapman who didn't want to give up a position or take one without making it look really good in the process, make it look like a hard fought battle. And unfortunately now he's going to be out of the race, it looks like, for the foreseeable future. But up at the front still, Chapman is able to hold off Joshua Lucas, who's just behind him. And Chapman, even though he's lost some distance on Jordan Probst, I'm not going to write him off yet. I think that Chapman might just be trying to tire save and waiting for his moment, especially because he's being able to hold off Joshua Lucas for a little while. Let's see what happens. Let's see when Causey decides to pit, because I think that's going to be a big telling point. But I have a feeling it's not going to be Causey who pits. I got a feeling it's going to be Chapman who decides when to pit.
Yeah, I just think Chapman going up to the top as early as he did and staying up there as long as he did, I don't think that he has much left in that thing. As you see him still up there running that outside line. I'm not sure the method behind the madness here. It might just be madness.
It might just be madness. Psychosis. Richmond psychosis.
Got a lot of that out there. That's why I stay in the country.
There is a natural gas deposit directly underneath the track. Everybody here just loses their minds.
Except for Causey. Causey's got this thing figured.
Yeah, I shouldn't say anything negative about Causey at this moment. He's doing fantastic. His last lap was a 22.8, so he's doing pretty good compared to everybody else. That's just about the fastest time that we've got going around. His fastest time was a full second faster than that, 21.8. So in terms of overall stats, Causey's looking good. And as we go into lap 99, I believe, lap 98, excuse me, of 200, Joseph Causey is setting up a Richmond clinic. His line is a full diamond shape. It's a big wide one too. He goes to the outside wall, he goes down to the yellow line, back fully to the outside wall within a foot of it, down to the yellow line. It's a great line.
He's getting down there. He's, painting the yellow, getting those left side tires up on that paint on entry to kind of help the thing rotate itself into the corner. You get down there, that little bit of extra grip on that absolute bottom, it really helps you, and it really helps you on the long run to save tires, because you get it down there, it's got the extra grip, and it keeps you from burning everything off so much because you're not putting as much wheel into it. Why take the hard route when you can go the easy route and let the truck drive itself, so to speak?
Roger that. Roger that. Well, that was lap 100 just now that we passed. We are halfway done with tonight's race at Richmond.
Cue the Bon Jovi.
Oh, living on a prayer. Oh, right when I say it.
That would be stage, I do believe.
That would be the stage flag. You are correct. No, there was only going to be one. He was spun. We had the big wheel spin in terms of stage flag numbers, and it sounded like race control said there was going to be one yellow, and it was just this one. The next flag, the next stage, I believe. Let me take a little look-see, but I'm going to take a moment.
Pretty sure the first one was lap 45 or something like that.
Something like lap 45. Gotcha. Okay, we must have screamed right past it. But I'm going to take a quick moment before we talk more racing. I'm going to talk about Haproon Design. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
They're our playoff championship sponsor. Because you know what? If you're looking to make your iRacing experience truly stand out, Sheldon, look no further than Haproon Designs. At Haproon Designs, they specialize in creating custom wraps that will make your car or truck the envy of every race. Their team of special skilled designers is dedicated to bring your vision to life with sharp lines, vibrant colors, and unique designs that reflect your style and personality. So whether you're racing in the big leagues or just having fun with friends, their custom iRacing wraps will make you the talk of the track night in, night out. Don't settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary. Extraordinary. Extraordinary? All of them. All put together. That's Haproon Design. So choose Haproon Design for all of your custom iRacing wrap needs and racing style. Visit harpoondesign.com today. I should get a custom iRacing wrap. What would you get on yours, Sheldon?
Dude, I have changed my paint scheme pretty much every 2 weeks since 2018 because I'm indecisive, and honestly, if I were to spend money on it, I would be so far in debt right now, I wouldn't even be able to talk to you.
You know what? Wise words. Well said. I resonate with that experience. So I also can't pick a paint scheme. The booth says there's only one answer. What is that answer?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right. The only answer is I should have a GridVision car.
That actually reminds me. I need to drop pictures of my new paint scheme in our chat after this.
I do need a GridVision car.
I have a brand new GridVision Xfinity car that I put together. literally 30 minutes before I hopped in here.
30 minutes. Okay, all right, busy man. What is the NASCAR equivalent of a rodeo clown? Can I be that?
I'm sure we can make you a Ricky Stenhouse paint scheme.
Yo! I love it. Okay.
Hopefully there's no Stenhouse fans in here.
No. Just us.
Causey votes for the top lane here again on this restart.
Smart man.
Yeah.
He makes the most of it every time. Oh, that was my off-brand John F. Kennedy.
I was about to say.
Something just recognizable enough,
Look,
but not too overt.
You don't want to hear my RFK Jr. impression, not on stream.
No, thank you. Never heard of him.
We got a close-up of what looked like a Joseph Causey Snickers card there for a second.
Woof.
Felt like we're taking it. There we go.
Abruzzi. Look at that beautiful Abruzzi on the back. Yeah.
That is a beautiful.
GridVision on the hood.
That is gorgeous.
Here they go, green. We're back, lap 106 of 200 at Richmond Raceway. Brought to you by GridVision and Haproon Designs.
Causey with another good launch. Probst a little bit squirrely there in third place. Andrew Chapman's holding down second for the time being. But here comes Probst with a dive down to the bottom at 3. Not going to be able to get to connect to build a run on Chapman, though.
Watching for this out of 3 into the tri-oval a little bit. Can they hold on to that speed from 1 into 2? We're looking for guys holding it down. Everyone's down toward that yellow line. I think they kind of all figured it out. That's where the speed's at. Riding the top line's not going to help you much.
Charlie Harcum down on the inside. Josh Lucas going to take the spot away coming out of 4, but Lucas is going to try and fight back on the outside. Just barely going to get to the quarter panel as they roll it down into turn 1.
Turn 1. Oh, we got a spin. 79 of Jacob Denson. That's a single car. So we're not going to be having the yellow at this point. Let's see what happened.
Same thing we've seen by others, but on a different end of the track here. It comes out turn 4, gets a little bit too much wheel into it, a little bit too much throttle, and around she goes. Good job not getting hit, keeping it locked down on the bottom, and not hitting anything at the same time.
That's right. Able to get back on the road. Doesn't need a tow. Looks like he's in pretty good shape. He's going to be at the back of the race here, but he's still able to drive, and so is everybody else. So that's a success here, especially at Richmond when things can go much, much worse. It didn't. So let's give a thumbs up there to the 79 of Jacob Denson. Good job there. And let's see if he can hold on to it. And he's the only one right now who is a lap down.
Contact turn 2. Lucas and Harcum get together. Harcum on the outside of Lucas now. Harcum doing everything he can, trying to get himself up there in a position to get some points for this thing so he can move forward as he gets loose out of turn number 4.
Big
Good
whip
save
from Charlie Harcum. What a save. Absolutely. What a whip out of Harcum. You got to imagine that at this point, his hands are white-knuckled around that wheel. He's going to be holding onto it tight, or if he's got the touch, he's just learned just to let the relaxation flow and don't tighten up too much, because I would be freaking out if I had a whip that hard. My heart would be racing.
I still freak out, and I do that all the time.
When I watch it happen to people, my heart jumps at least 20 or 30 beats per minute. So, we got looseness behind Joshua Lucas doing almost exactly the same dance that Charlie Harcum was just doing a moment ago. Very, very loose for a second, falls back, but does not lose control.
A battle that's been going on for a bit here. Probst to the outside of Chapman. He's going to clear him coming out of turn number 4, using that outside line to get by Chapman. Chapman going to send it back up there to the top, though. He's not done up there.
And it's always that outside line that's befuddling us here. Some people can use it for the speed when they need to, but I guess it really just depends on how much they're willing to throw it into 1 and 3.
Yeah, but nothing for Probst right now. Probst is working himself into another zip code right now, but speaking of people in another zip code, Causey is gone almost nearly 2 seconds ahead of the field now.
Yeah. Wow, he's got plenty of distance. Nothing to really worry about there. Probst, Chapman is a half second back, but
he's still playing it defensively. He's still holding on to that third place spot, and he hasn't really fallen back further than that, despite the fact that we've had a few stoppages here and there. Chapman has been able to maintain that roughly third, fourth place position. He was first for a good period of time, but unfortunately, once everybody got back on the same tire situation, that wiped away his advantage. And now it's a matter of line.
Very nice. He's got a very hungry Charlie Harcum behind him in fourth place. Not quite able to get to him to do anything right now, though, but Harcum running a really good race tonight, man. I can't speak enough about it. Been really consistent up here around the top 5 from start to finish so far.
It's taken some licks too. He's had a few bumps here and there. He's hit the wall here and there. He's gotten a little bit loose, but it seems like nothing can keep this good dog down, so to speak. As soon as it seems like fate tries to intervene, Charlie Harcum just says, "Not today."
Yeah, and he's really doing a good job bringing this fight at this point in the season when he absolutely needs to as well. Lucas behind him also running a pretty solid race. 5th spot. Good place to be in this field tonight.
We got cars now who look like they're getting a little bit loose as they get out of some of these turns. They're really starting to throw it, trying to keep those gaps from widening too much. But we do have cars all over the distance of the general length of the track at this point. It looks like things have spread out a lot. Obviously, Joseph Kazi is very much out in front, but the distance between Jordan Probst and Jacob Denson is about 14 and a half seconds. So about half the track at this point, a little over half the track is covered with cars.
Yep. Oh, Denson, real squirrely coming out of turn number 2.
Unfortunate, since his spin out situation didn't give him the yellow flag. Obviously, that would have helped him a little bit, but it's one of those things where if you're a single car wreck, you got to kind of deal with that fact. You're going to have to get back on the road on your own time and get back up to the pack on your own time. You're not going to get a yellow anymore. We had one lucky fellow who called out the yellow and was able to get it. Even though it was I think later it cost him an end of line penalty. But it was a situation where we learned yet again that a single car does not a yellow flag make in tonight's race.
Yeah, and thankfully so too, because with these self spins we've been getting out of turn 2, we'd be here for a while.
We would be here for a while. We would be finishing the race under caution for sure, especially by the time things got heated enough. Speaking of here, 1, 2, 3 is the lap we're on right now. I always like pointing that one out too. It's kind of an odd one to point out, but we passed lap 123 just a moment ago out of 200, going into 124. Joseph Kazi leads it. Jordan Probst in second with Andrew Chapman in third.
Oh, look, that's still our picks, just lined up a little different now.
You know what? Isn't that great? I love it when a plan comes together, and a commercial's about to come together. So we're going to take a step away, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned, folks.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's High Slide Thursday Night Truck Series back here on GridVision. I'm Joe Castro in the booth with Sheldon Adkins, brought to you by the amazingly talented Austin Derbyshire. Derbyshire, how do I pronounce your name? I never asked. Derbyshire. It's that easy. Okay. Anyways, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to lap 135 out of 200 here at Richmond Raceway. It's been an interesting night. We've had a couple of yellows here and there, and then we've had some smooth racing lately, though. A lot of green flag racing, and out in the front right now, leading the green flag racing, that's Joseph Causey. He's currently about a little under 2 seconds ahead of second place, Jordan Probst. Andrew Chapman is in third. He's up 7 places from 10th place. That's Andrew Chapman. 4th place, that's Charlie Harcum. And in 5th place, rounding out your top 5, it's Joshua Lucas. So the battles have been a little bit more stretched out now as we get into the green flag, long green flag sections of this race. And we've lost a couple of racers to a few unfortunate accidents during the race. So we have even less people on the track. It's gotten to a point where I think we might start seeing nothing but strategy start to play. Like the long strategies are going to start to play much more in here than the moment-to-moment battling. And I think that as we have only about 60 laps to go, those strategies are going to start to heat up and light up here. So what are you thinking? How are you feeling about the race so far there, Sheldon? I wonder if he's back. I think that my friend Sheldon is currently indisposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, whoop, we got a car that just went off. We've got some pitters. It looks like Jacob Denson was one of the guys who went ahead and went off the field there. No one else yet pitting. But Jacob Denson was very quick to get off the field there. Up there at the front, there's Joseph Causey. He's out. Into the pits now. That's Levi McCarty. So we got a couple of cars coming in, trying to get ahead of the pack for the remaining laps of the race. If they pit now, they're going to be done for the rest of the race, most likely, in terms of what they do. Tire-wise, Andrew Pendergrass, he's in now. Most everybody else pit on lap 102, so the strategy is really going to be, if you pit now, you're going to race your absolute took-us-off and see if the tires can push you ahead of anybody else's tire strategy.
Ozzy's going to do what we've seen him do so many times before this season, stay out as late as he possibly can, come in and get those freshies and absolutely send it for the last stint of this thing.
Yeah, you think that does seem to be the Causey. I mean, we got to name that move. The cautious Causey, the calculating Causey.
Now, the question that I'm looking at here is, Causey's going to do what he does typically every week. When does Probst come in? When does Chapman come in? When's that undercut going to come in, and how much is it going to play in their benefit?
Oh, that's a darn good question. It's a darn good question because it's hard to say how much that undercut is gonna come into play. Because we're already at the point where we've got lap traffic. It looks like Joseph Causey is just ahead of excuse me here. Who's he?
Close move there between the 44 machine and the 21 of McCarty. And yeah,
There
here's
we
where
go.
Kazi's at a disadvantage. He's got lap cars all around him on fresher tires. And as Kazi blinks out a little bit there for a second, but comes right back to us. If I'm Probst, I am coming in now.
Yep.
As
This is your
Grigsby
move.
dives it down.
This is your chance to make your move, and we've just seen that the gap has now shortened to less than a second and a half, as Kazi is going to have to be careful about it.
We are watching
some
Lemke.
Crashes
he gets
here.
Loose out of 2 and just barely noses into that inside concrete.
And I think that might have been Lemke by himself, so we're going to be seeing no yellow flag.
Yeah, Lemke said, I'm done with this, man. I'm going home.
Yep, I'll see ya.
Here's Probst not coming in this lap, so running it low and slow down there on the bottom. Just he's really kind of closing that gap to Kazi now, down to 1.3. It was up to 1.8 there for a little bit.
Yep, down to 1.3. It was up there, and then every time there's a little bit of a battle going around Joseph Kazi, he's going to shave a couple of seconds down. Probst, excuse me, is going to shave a few seconds down. Probst, though, a little bit of blinking on his own just now, I think, but I think folks are back here. So let's see and hope. Yep, it'll buff out. Let's see what kind of distance he can use to close up.
No, looks like something happened with Probst. He's back 3 seconds. Is he going to pit now, or?
Yeah.
Must be. Yep, there he is.
He must have gotten hit something big. But he's down. Chapman moves into second place.
Now we're going to see when Kazi comes in. Do you come in now? If I was, if I'm Kazi, I'm coming in. Oh,
yep.
Just about lose it into the barrels.
Whoa!
Oh. Did he make pit road speed?
He definitely didn't make pit road speed with that kind of turn.
Riding on board with him here. Is there any way we get the speed up on here? Come in here.
Intriguing.
86. No, it's lap speeds.
It's okay. Yeah, that was that was absolutely fast.
Now let's see that back one more time here and see if we get the speed. Yeah, it looks like it's current. Man, look at if he wins this thing, man. That right there.
Wow.
That is the move of the race, because you cannot have a more aggressive pit road entry than that. Kazi absolutely
really can't
push the limit on that. And you saw Probst back it down real early, lost a lot of time. You see Kazi send it in. Kazi's still staying out here on the track, so I'm assuming he's good. No penalty for Kazi. And look at the advantage that he has on Probst now.
He's trying to push it forward now, but it's with the tire changes, and almost everyone's taking tires now. It's much more of a smattering across the 140, 130 area of the laps here. But Andrew Chapman's still out on the 102s.
Yeah, Chapman knows that he has no opportunity to win in the current situation if he'd stayed on the same strategy as your leader, Joseph Kazi, earlier. He's just trying to keep it out here, get as many, laps in, hope that somebody makes a mistake, get everybody trapped a lap down, and, come home with potentially a winning opportunity here at Richmond.
All right, let's see what happens as Chapman, now the main driver on the lead lap, interestingly enough. For how long can that hold out? A full 25 seconds ahead of the next closest racer, Joseph Kazi.
Well, Kazi working himself back up into that mirror, though. Going to be unlapping himself before too long here.
He's going to be lapping himself. That would be an impressive feat.
He's going to do it here. Chapman's on way older stuff. Causey's on way fresher. And, you know, Causey's been the class of the field all night.
That's true. I mean, if he can get ahead of Chapman, then all the better. But we'll see. Chapman's going to have to fold eventually. Holding out from here out would be an incredible feat, but it's just going to start costing him more and more and more. But he can afford to lose a whole lap, though, at the very least. And here it goes.
Chapman not even going to attempt to fight it.
No need to. Absolutely no need to. Still a full lap now that he has to go before he has to worry about seeing that 88 again. 5 tire sets. Let's see. Chapman has pit 3 times. Probst has pit 4 times. Wait, PC is pit count, I think. So I think he would have at least 1 or 2 left. There we go. Let's see here.
Starting to tame out here now.
Yep. We've lost a couple of people here. So with the cars left spread out over a gap of about 40 seconds, we have a full entire track filled with cars at this point. So watch for lap traffic playing a key role, especially when it comes to the positioning of Andrew Chapman and Joseph Causey. But we have got a full track of trucks to contend with, and they're all pretty spread apart.
See Grigsby tag the fence there on the front straightaway right in front of Lucas. Lucas going to blow by him here. Grigsby going to try and fight back on the bottom here in 3 and 4, but not be able to get the power down to get to him.
Hold it. Not quite enough. Grigsby, he's on, yep, they both pit around the same time, so there's not really too much better about one set of tires versus the other. But if a 2-lap difference makes a difference, Lucas has the younger tires.
See Chapman still up here in the lead, 16-second advantage over Joseph Causey. Eventually, Chapman's got to come down, though, and throw some fuel in it, because I do not think that you can make it from the window that they pit at last.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about fuel.
Yep, reduced fuel cell in this series.
That's a clever idea, and I'm wondering the same thing now, because it almost feels like every time that Andrew Chapman goes around, that's going to be the time that he actually pits for fuel. It's just enough speed, though, that he can keep it up and he can decide to pit pretty much whenever he wants to. Without our insight into his car, it's just a matter of time before he's going to eventually have to get rid of most of his advantage. So the question is, when does he get rid of most of his advantage? Probably at the last possible second.
No, it'll be all of it for sure, I can tell you that.
Yeah, all of the advantage, you say?
There's a long, slow pit road here, and he'll go a lap down, so. If he has to pit under green, he's digging himself a hole to Causey, but if a caution comes out, he's going to look like the smartest man in the field.
Well, fingers crossed, but a caution's going to be tough to come out if it takes 2 cars to caution.
Couldn't make it stretch any longer. Chapman on pit road.
I saw at the last second there he snapped in. Not quite as egregious as as our buddy earlier, but yeah, definitely not a last minute decision, but a quick one.
Probst way behind right now, 3 seconds behind Joseph Causey.
Chapman sitting on pit road.
This is Causey's race to lose at this point. It's going to take something big for him to give it up.
Yeah, I'd say so. 30 laps left. 170 of 200 here at Richmond.
And we thought we saw something big with him earlier, with that incident with McCarty on the back straightaway here way early in this thing. I thought that would have, thrown him some pretty heavy damage, but didn't even look like he gave him really the first bit of a scratch on that 88 machine.
Right? Just sort of rolled him out of the way.
Oh.
Just said, nah. And you can keep your damage. If he's got damage, he's not wearing it.
See Probst right now behind the lap truck, 79 of Denson. Denson going to go up to the top, does not want to get out here and make, a stink of this battle that could shape up with him and Causey.
That's 79. That's 79 there. Denson's next to the 91 of Jordan Probst also. He's in second place. There goes the 32 of Josh Lucas. He's holding it out. We've had some a little bit loose there.
Yeah,
We've had some individual great drivers tonight in terms of saves, some passes that have been really good, memorable moments. Just everyone across the board has been pretty much excellent. I think it's only been a few moments where we've seen some guys overdrive the car a little bit, but they all sort of collected themselves into accidents over the course of this race.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm glad that we're into the playoffs right now, and I'm happy that we're going to be crowning a champion just a few weeks out for the High Slide Series. But, man, this has been the highlight of my week since I started covering it back in May. These guys have put on great shows week in and week out. Really good quality racing as well.
They really have. Here on GridVision, I've been lucky enough to call a couple of different series here and there, but this is always one that pays off every single time. High Slide has been excitement top to bottom, and now we're in a part of their schedule where we're seeing the best of their best come out and defend and push. It's just been the best. So I'm very much entertained by what we've been seeing tonight, what we've seen previously. High Slide's got it. So it's been a pleasure calling it so far, and I'm looking forward to calling more of these playoffs as a couple weeks go on.
Yeah, I'll be pretty heartbroken when this goes away for the year.
Yeah, we'll get it back. We'll see. High Slide seems like it'll be around. It'll come back around. So
they better. Otherwise, I'm gonna yell at Causey.
Haha.
Here we go. Chapman diving down to the inside of the 44 machine now. Move Chapman up to 6th place. We're going to see what those 4 freshies do, but he's got such a big disadvantage to crawl out of. I just don't think he's going to be able to get up to the top 3 like he wants to be.
Yeah, the freshies are going to be good for him. It seems like he's making time. He's closing the gap between himself and Grigsby just by driving the car. So time will tell. He's got enough time to make his way up to probably about 3rd at the very least, with only about 22 laps left in the race. It seems like a lot of time, folks, but it's not necessarily a lot of time. So he's going to need to really drive that vehicle. And with everybody so spread out, he's going to need a push from someone too. I'm not sure if anybody on the road is going to really help him out with that.
I don't know if you really want to push here at old Richmond. That's for sure.
Oh, well, that's absolutely fair. Didn't think about that at all.
Old Causey just gone. Probst put up as good of a fight as he can tonight, but I think Probst is at that point right now too, where he's just like, man, let's just get this thing over with and get back home.
We got 20 laps to go till we're out of Narnia. We're back in the real world, and right now Andrew Chapman has moved up 2 places. He passed Grigsby. He's passed Lucas. He's in 4th. Now here's another gap of a few seconds, 3.5 to be fair. So let's see how many he can make up with 19 laps to go in tonight's race.
You want to get up on that wheel and get the pedal down to get up there. Still a ways to go. Can't even really see the truck he's chasing down. That's that little dot right there going into turn 3. That's who he's trying to reel in. That's Harcum.
Yeah, he can't see it from here, but with faith in the system and with faith in that line, it's going to work, because in the time we've talked about it, he's already cut the time down by a full second. So a lot can happen here at the end of the race. This is the moment here. This is the big drive to the finish. Andrew Chapman is the one who's going to show us how to finish a race at Richmond strong. And I think that these last moments are going to be exciting here.
Yep, Chapman doing a really good job this run to keep it down the bottom too, not go up there to the top and burn his stuff off. Learned a lot those first couple runs. Learn every week. Always better at the end of these things than he is at the start.
He did a little bit loose there. He's been an evolutionary driver over the course of tonight's race. He's gone from heavy offense to defense and so on.
And I cannot say enough about Harkham either tonight, man. Has just consistently been in that top 3, top 5 range. Done a good job maximizing, getting every point that he can possibly get to try and, move himself forward to the next round of the playoffs. Doing a really good job, especially at a track as tricky as Old Richmond.
Absolutely. Harkham has been entertaining as a driver tonight. He's been assertive and he's been professional, but also he's been tooth and nail for every victory he's gotten. Now he's going to have to do yet another bit of tooth and nail to hold on to third place and get that podium, because Andrew Chapman is less than a second away now.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful though, trying too hard with Chapman. Chapman knows it's go time, it's money time, and Chapman is very aggressive. Very, very smart driver, but also very aggressive most weeks. He would not think too differently of throwing a door or a bumper to somebody.
Well, this would be the time to do it. Here comes the defensive driving of Harkham. Harkham's able to block just a little bit, but you can see that Chapman is looking for the inside. He's clearly signaling, saying, hey, I'm going to be there. Nope. Not quite enough speed.
Big loose out of Harkham coming into turn 1. You saw the back end start to kick out a little bit. He's fighting it right now, just trying to stay
Big
up there.
block.
He's gonna try to block a little bit, but not gonna be able to get it down. Here comes Chapman. Move him up to P3.
He tried for the big block. Big block didn't pay off. The P3 goes to Chapman. He's got his podium. I almost said pedestal. He's got his podium back now. Big battle here at the end. 189 of 200, folks. Only 10 laps left in tonight's race. Causey, Probst, Chapman, you're the top 3. Now, in this situation, I do think that it's going to be tough for Chapman to make up the 12 seconds he's going to need to catch Joseph Causey.
I tell you what, man. Probst running good tonight too, second place. Man, it's got to be heartbreaking to finish P2 so many times to either Causey, Scherer Jr., or Mark Whitley. But that's been the story for him this year. Very much a Sheldon Creed season, but has shown glimmers of pace to be able to get there and get the job done. Just hasn't quite had it fall in his favor.
Yeah, and part of me wants to say that even a silver medal is a silver medal in a sea of like amazing athletes. Especially if it's consistency that he's getting out of it, that's really impressive. Having a bunch of different guys win against you says more about you than it does about them. And it says that you've got the strength of will to put in like an amazing move. 21 spins in front of our leader. The 21 Levi McCarty goes around on his own in the perfect pirouette in front of Joseph Causey. Watch this.
I bet you Causey would be happy when he does. Oh, man, look at Causey. Really good heads-up driving there. Get down to the bottom and get the brakes. Avoid knocking the door off on the 21. That could have been the race for him right there.
It really could have been. He did not touch him.
3 near-death experiences for Causey as McCarty's back loop down there on the bottom in 3 and 4.
Causey did not touch McCarty. It was a very close call, but they were good. McCarty now looking for a way to get back on the track. As we are entering 195 out of 200 with 5 laps to go.
It has been a terrible night for Levi.
Really bad. I hate to say it.
To his credit, man, there's only 10 trucks left in this thing. It's going to be a good points day. It's 10th place points. It's going to work out for him here.
Absolutely. It's been an uphill climb. He's faced some incredible odds, and he's tried to drive his truck so hard. You got to give him props for that. In situations like this, when you're in the playoffs, you've only got one chance to drive your truck hard. You got to do it. You got to find your limit. You got to push it. So major ups there. Levi McCarty. Good work.
Meanwhile, 5 laps to go for Joseph Causey, your leader. Yeah,
That's
not
it.
really changing. Cause he's kind of on autopilot right now. Got this thing on cruise control. No need to
At this
worry.
point, you can't even hear the sound of like a hard working engine as much. It's really just seems like he's got his little rhythm going. There's another one challenging his position right now. He's 3 seconds ahead of Jordan Probst. It's just a matter of consistency now, straight consistency, and the more he can put down he's gonna create consistency his way right to another victory.
Yeah, was that an invisible helmet he had on? Oh, in there. Yeah, I couldn't see a helmet. Man ain't got no head.
One of those self-driving cars.
Well,
A very good one.
2 laps to go now. Right now, if you're Cause, you're just sitting there with one hand on the wheel, the other hand with the fingers crossed, hoping that nobody loops it, makes any big mistakes, no wrecks. Let's get this thing to white flag, get this thing over with. Down in turn 3, no issues. Looks like we're gonna come out 4 here. White flag in the air.
White flag is up as he goes around the bend there. He is sitting behind the car, but I don't think that he's going to have to worry about outracing him. He can probably just stick behind the car in front of him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have to worry about passing him.
No worries at all. Into turn 3, though. Take it.
All right, folks, finishing up the race tonight here at the checkered flag. Cross the line. It's Joseph Causey in first place. Crossing the line right after that, Jordan Probst in second. Andrew Chapman in third.
Oh, he tried to drift it, and he just wadded it up on the back straightaway. Oh, man, you got to roast him on that when he gets in here.
I'll roast him on the Tokyo drift attempt.
Here comes Chapman with the congratulatory pat on the tail.
We're going to be able to get him up here in the booth in a little bit, but that is a big win for Joseph Causey, our current playoff leader and our race winner tonight here at Richmond Raceway.
Oh, Probst doing burnouts too.
Here comes. In a little bit, we'll get the results here up on screen, but we're going to enjoy the view of the winner as he signs his name. Look at that. Very impressive. 200 laps. Woo-wee. And there goes Joseph Causey backwards around Richmond. He's going to turn right, folks. You've never seen anything like it.
Oh, I think he just spun it.
Yep, brings it right on back. Let's take a look at the unofficial results here. Joseph Causey, first place. Second, Jordan Probst. Third, Andrew Chapman. Fourth, Charlie Harcum. Fifth, Joshua Lucas. Sixth, Derek Grigsby. Seventh, Andrew Pendergrass. Eighth, James Kerr. Ninth, Jacob Denson. And 10th, Levi McCarty.
In 11th place, we got Andrew Lemke, followed by Scott Phelps in 12th. 13th is going to be Jordan Berry with Austin Pendergrass in 14th. And rounding out the field in 15th is going to be Jason Miz.
Okay. A race shortened a little bit in terms of its roster over the course of the night, but nevertheless, a display of excellent talent. We're going to get a chance to talk to some of the drivers here and get their take on how things went. We're going to go from third up to first, starting with Andrew Chapman. And we'll see how things went with all of them. Andrew Chapman, can you hear me tonight?
Hey, you got me?
Yeah, we do. We do. Congratulations on third place there.
I appreciate it. That was a interesting race there. It didn't go the way I thought it would.
You had one of the more interesting strategies, more of a lone wolf strategy in terms of getting when you decided to pit in and when you were pushing very hard. You were the hardest charger of the evening, 7 places up from 10th place on the front start of the grid. What were some of your thoughts as you were charging towards the finish here? As you thought, did you think you had a chance maybe to put the screws to Probst and Causey?
That last run there, I didn't think I had anything for Causey, so I figured I'd try something different. I think I was running second at the time they were starting pit stops, I was running third. And I figured I had enough gap on fourth. I couldn't go any farther backwards, so figured I'd run it long, see if I can get lucky and catch a yellow, just to try something different. So didn't gain anything, didn't lose anything. I think it was worth a try.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch you as you moved up and down in some of these rankings, but you were leading a little bit too earlier there in the race. When you were leading the race, what were some of your thoughts then? Because you were one of the guys who had pitted and gotten fresh tires, and you ended up passing Joseph Causey. How did that work out for you? How did that feel?
Once I got to the lead, I honestly thought I could hold on to it longer than I did. I was surprised. I know I was pushing hard, but I was surprised it fell off as quick as I did, or as quick as the truck did. I got a new wheel this week. Just went to Moza Direct Drive, so that was new and probably take a little getting used to, but I think it'll benefit me in the long run.
That's what we heard. One last question. How is that new Moza setup?
I love it. No complaints, and I got the bigger wheel to go on it. See if that'll help with ovals, and maybe I can learn how to tire save a little bit now.
All right. Anybody you would like to thank or have a shout out to tonight?
Just the guys that put on the league, and my teammates at Heel Turn that never show up, Evan Connup.
All righty. Well, thank you for your time, and we hope that you have continued success in the playoffs.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to pass it over to you, my friend Sheldon. Take it away.
Jordan, man, another clean race. Unfortunately, another second place. What do you think you need to do to be able to get this, get the seal stamped here and get this thing done?
Oh man, I don't know. Rabbit's foot, I think. I feel like I'm so close. A lot of times, like even tonight, I feel like I had a pretty good truck. Just messed up a little bit there on that last pit stop. I overshot by a little bit. Couldn't get it down into second gear, so I had to go around one extra time. Don't know if I would have had anything for Causey. He just seemed to pull away early in the run, and then it would kind of level off. And even at the end of the run, I would start to catch him a little bit. But yeah, we were just so even all night, and that the first few laps of the run when he would get away, it just got to be a little bit too much for me. But I think maybe if I didn't run GT3 cars every other day of the week and I practice for this at all, that would probably help me. But it's hard splitting the time.
Yeah, you're looking pretty good out there considering you're not running this all the time. And honestly, dude, I wouldn't beat yourself up on pit road too much, because Causey just about beat himself up for everybody out there. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but if you get to look back at that on replay, man, that was there's no way he should have made it. So
Sure.
He did fine on that. But how you feeling about your chances here, moving further into the playoffs? Looking good in points right now.
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot overall. I think coming into the race, I think we were still in fourth, but I think with some people missing out on tonight's race, that should give us a little bit of a better shot to continue to move forward into the playoffs. And the Kansas race is a mile and a half. I feel like I'm okay at those, and then anybody can win on those plate races. So just about keeping the truck clean, and just hanging on, collecting stage points, and seeing if we can't move on to that final 3 races, and then see what we can do.
Man, I got you in my way too early grid, so I'm looking forward to seeing you live up to the standard and keeping it clean these next 2 weeks, because that's what you seem to do best. And anybody you want to thank for this?
Yeah, definitely. I got to shout out my teammates for all their help. Josh had a really good run, got to 5th tonight, and that was good to see him have a good run after a couple rough weeks. Andrew was in the field. He got kind of caught up early. It's an incident, so he got another race where things didn't go right for him, but I think he's getting a little bit better pace wise, so a good improvement there. Definitely got to thank those guys for all the help they give me, not only in this league but on our GT3 stuff as well. And then got to thank my girlfriend Molly. She does a great job being my pit crew and coming up with paint schemes and every time I feel like I don't want to race, she encourages me and tells me get in here and race because you're good at it and you enjoy it. So it's nice to have that support at home.
But yeah, man, you can't beat that. Well, hey, man, you guys have yourselves a good night, and looking forward to catching you next Thursday.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
All right, and our first place winner, Joseph Causey. Congratulations tonight, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Well done, well done. And, well, there was one moment specifically I want you to walk me through. I'm going to jump right in. There was a moment when Levi McCarty spun out right in front of you. Can you walk me through that? That was toward the end of the race there. What were you thinking there?
I'll put the Matrix on him.
We saw some pretty amazing moves there. You definitely had some pretty amazing moves. Tell us what went through your mind. Walk us through that sequence of events, because it was so wild to watch, and you definitely avoided it through some pretty impressive maneuvering.
I wasn't expecting him to spin out, but I guess he was trying to keep his lap. We were near the end towards there. I don't know if he was mad at me from that last incident, but I mean, I don't think he would be. I'm not sure. But like I said, he spun out right in front of me, and I happened to see it as it was happening, and somehow I was just able to maneuver there and just keep rolling as much as I can and only lose a second, and keep on trucking. And man, I had a fast truck. That's just basically it. I was super fast. I was dialed in, and man, it was hard to catch me.
You were moving tonight. You had some incredible launches on these restarts. And what is your hope for the rest of the playoffs here?
Man, just try to be up there near the end, like this. Try to make good runs like this. Not very many mistakes. We did come out unscathed on the first little incident that happened with McCarty in the first stage, I believe. First stage. And just try to minimize mistakes. That's basically all. I'm very prone to making mistakes, and I bet you even seen it when I don't know if y'all seen it when I came into pit road. I mean, that probably had to be the closest I ever got to the water barrels while touching them.
Oh, we saw it. We were looking directly at you at that moment. And we were looking directly at you, and we all said, oh my God, he absolutely just about ate it. But you didn't, and that was the most important part. And so you cruised to a dominating victory. Absolutely well done. Is there anybody you would like to thank, or any shout outs you got for tonight?
Man, thank the league. Thank everybody that comes and shows up. I've been trying to get a couple more people to come in, try to come race. Our field's been low. It sucks. I wish it could be more, but it is what it is. Do have fun with the guys that do come and race. They race pretty clean, pretty hard, and we all try to, minimize all the incidents that we can. And I mean, we do try to put on a pretty great show, and usually we do.
Absolutely. You guys always put on a good show for me. I've enjoyed calling it week after week, and I'm looking forward to calling some more of these playoff races. So you take care, Joe. You have a good rest of your night, and congratulations again on your first place win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. And Sheldon, it's us. We're back. It's the end of the night. How do you feel about tonight's race?
I feel a little bit better now that Darby accidentally left the channel too. Before we switched over, but man, it's just another good race at Richmond here. Great run from Causey and all those fellas in the top three tonight. And second half just got very tame, and I'm glad that we didn't spend the rest of the night pacing. I know it's difficult here though to avoid having the incidents here and there.
Yeah, we had kind of a two-tone night. We had a couple of yellow flags, and then as soon as we realized that it took more than one car to get one, it was much more smooth sailing. And I think that put a lot of driver skill on display, and we had a lot of green flags, not much passing, but still really impressive driving, especially out of Joseph Causey. So let's go ahead and I want to say thank you to you for calling the race with me. Let's talk to the schedule before we do all the thank yous, though. We're going to look at a different schedule here, I think, in a second. And before we get to the thank yous and the goodbyes and all that,
is.
And let's just point out that we're going to be GridVision is going to take you down south to Atlanta tomorrow, where we've got some racing that you will be able to enjoy. So, Austin Derbyshire up in the booth. Thank you, Austin, for your hard work. And Sheldon, thank you for calling another great race with me.
Hey, man, always a pleasure. And looking forward to being back on here tomorrow night for NIS at 9 o'clock, Atlanta. Late racing.
I'll be
Cup
sure to.
cars. I'll be sick.
I'll be sure to be in the audience. And everybody else, I hope we will see you there too. Take care, everybody. Good night.